All right, we'll go ahead and get started this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I think some of you are familiar with these notes, but I've got to go over them every time. Hang with us, please. People of all genders are welcome and may be in this session, and the session is also being recorded. However, we are doing that in the webinar feature, so your video won't go up, you won't be disclosing your voice. If you have any questions, we're using the chat and the Q&A feature, so your participation this morning should remain entirely confidential. We do have an ASL interpreter available, and because of the webinar, you should also be able to see that person on screen. However, if you need that and you're not seeing them, please do message Julia at tech support and we can troubleshoot with you. As I mentioned, we are using the chat and the Q&A. Feel free to use the chat to talk with one another. If you're comfortable, go ahead and enter your name and where you're joining us from in the chat. You may want to make sure that you're messaging all attendees and not all panelists, which seems to be the default feature. If you would like to submit a question at any time or a comment to the presenter, please do so through the Q&A function. We'll do our best to send a reply to you or to respond live, depending on your question. And as I mentioned, we've got Julia, our communications project manager, behind the scenes with us today. If you have any technical issues or IT needs during today's webinar, send your question through the Q&A or the chat to Julia at Tech Support. So my name is Melissa Henshin, and I am the Manager of Outreach and Community Engagement here at Wings. And thrilled to invite you and to welcome you into this morning's session. And thank you for participating in our Race for Healing this year, where the theme of our virtual event series of learning and holistic healing activities is It's About Time. We've chosen that theme for a few different reasons. First, we believe that as a culture, it's about time that we recognize the needs of adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse, because this issue affects so many people in our culture, 1 in 5 adults. Second, to overcome the silencing and denial affecting survivors in this issue, it will take all of us dedicating our most precious resource, our time, to learning about, speaking about, and supporting the healing of CSA survivors. That's why we encourage you to track your minutes through our RACE platform this year. The more time we all spend supporting survivors and this issue, the more time survivors can regain in building healthy and thriving lives. Third, we know that during this difficult year of physical distancing, all of us may be experiencing extra stress in our lives. And this can be hard for those directly impacted by CSA trauma, as well as those who are not impacted by this issue. The good news is these types of holistic healing activities that help soothe, support, and strengthen healing and resilience during trauma recovery are actually beneficial for all of us while we are navigating life, and especially when we are experiencing extra stresses like those happening in the world around us. The healing journey from CSA trauma has a lot of wisdom to teach us about healing in the world. And that's why we've created these virtual sessions, focused on aspects of holistic healing that follow our theme of It's About Time. Because healing is the time that we dedicate to many of these foundational practices, like the ones we've covered so far. If you haven't checked out our previous sessions, or if you'd like to rewatch them, go to the page where you signed up and you can find those. Today, I would like to welcome you to our third and last session of It's About Embodiment. Whether you're a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, the loved one of a survivor, a healing professional, or a new friend or ally to this cause, we thank you for tuning into this event and hope you will get so much out of its wonderful content. So now, I'm thrilled to be able to turn things over to our incredible presenter, Alexi Neal of Neal Counseling and Yoga Therapy, for this last session of It's About Embodiment, which has been such a pleasure. Alexi, thank you so much for joining us and sharing this info with our community.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much, Melissa. And yeah, so in our third session today, we are going to be working with the concept of choice. Now, if you've been to the previous 2 sessions, you'll notice there is a sense of kind of building. We start with cultivating awareness of what is actually happening right now. working with acceptance of what's really here right now. And when we do that, then we have the opportunity with that awareness and acceptance to make choices that are based more off of our own experience and what is really here than any external pressures or expectations. But even if you haven't been to those previous 2 sessions, know that, you know, those themes of acceptance and awareness are going to be woven in with our exploration of choice today. And choice is such a powerful part of the healing process because it empowers us to really acknowledge the ways that we do have choice. And one of my favorite things about guiding embodied practices in yoga in this way is that it removes me in some ways as the authority on the matter, because what I know really deeply is how to facilitate your embodied experience, not what your embodied experience is going to be, and therefore not the choices that you may want to make in order to be more deeply connected to your own self and your own body. So with all of that being said, once again, for those of you who haven't taken one of these with me yet, I will not be demoing anything because all I would be showing you is what these cues look like in my own body. And what matters so much more is that sensation that is not painful, but does have some sense of stretch or engagement or experience to it, that is being created in your body in the way that that actually suits what is really here for you right now and where you are at in your process. So a deep honoring to all of the bodies that are watching this right now, and we'll get started. So I'll invite you to come to standing. If standing isn't comfortable for you, I would recommend sitting in a chair for this first part. As you find your way there, just allowing already the movement into this first position to be like the drop into the practice, you know, start to notice your breath, start to notice your body, notice where your feet are making contact with the ground, just taking all of it in and making that choice, if it feels appropriate for you, to set aside anything that may be coming, you know, in after this session. You're here right now, and in this moment, feeling what is here in your body. Let's take a deeper breath. You can imagine that that breath fills up all the way into the soles of your feet, all the way into the crown of your head. And then the exhale is just as complete, maybe falling out your mouth with a sigh. Take another breath like that. In through the nose, fill all the way up. Out through your mouth. And now start to shift your weight from side to side. And it can start very small. Just a subtle rocking one way and then the other. Your weight shifting more onto one foot and then the other. Start to notice the spaces in between the extremes, one way, that middle space, the other way. Yeah. And now start to play with synchronizing this movement with your breath. So maybe you inhale one direction and exhale the other. And now if this swaying is just feeling really good in your body, you could choose to stay right here. You could also choose to start making it a little bit of a bigger movement by picking up one foot off the ground as you lean the other direction, and then swaying the other way and picking the other foot up. And again, finding a rhythm that matches your breath, that taps into the natural rhythm that wants to come through your body right now. And now you can continue to make this even bigger, picking the foot even farther up off the ground if you'd like. Maybe it becomes more of a marching that's happening. Maybe you start to play with speeding it up a little bit. or really slowing it down. And with each choice that you make, notice the impact of that choice and know that you can always make a new choice. We're not stuck in our choices in this practice. You can try one thing, see how it feels, try another. Our only intention right now is to start creating some sensation and some blood flow. So let's do that for 3 more rounds of breath. And then finding stillness again when you're ready, and taking a moment to really feel that stillness. Feel the body when it stops moving now. Maybe the sense of internal movement that continues. And then reaching your arms up alongside your ears. Get nice and tall and stretch through your fingertips. And then as you exhale, let the arms drop heavily by your sides with a yeah, and really let that exhale fall out your mouth with sound if that feels good to you, okay? And inhale, reach your arms back up again. Exhale, let it go. And now again, you're gonna find your rhythm. Find the rhythm of breath and movement that you can really choose to tap into based off of what you're experiencing right now, the cues that your body is giving you. There's also the option here to, on the exhale, dive all the way forward and do a forward fold, and then inhale to come all the way back up. Yeah. So whatever you're choosing, however you are engaging with this, hold that with acceptance. Hold your experience with acceptance. 3 more rounds of breath to explore what you are exploring right now. Yeah, and then next time that you come up, arms reach high 1 more time and then settle back down by your sides. And again, we find stillness for a moment. And that opportunity to feel the impact of these gentle movements in our bodies already. The shift in heartbeat and the rhythm of breath. Notice where your awareness is being pulled in your body. If there's a particular part of your body that is where sensation is strongest, even in stillness, just notice. And now with your next inhale, reach your arms back up overhead. You're going to interlace all of your fingers except your index finger, and then reach your hand straight up towards the ceiling. Stretch nice and tall. And then on a breath out, start to hinge over to the right, aiming for that kind of angle where your fingers are going towards where the ceiling and wall meet on your right side. And now here, the choice is in how deep you go, how far you hinge. And allow that choice to be just so fully informed, not by what you think it should look like, but by what you are actually feeling in your body. Seeking out a place where there's enough sensation that you feel kind of captured by it, like your mind has to pay attention to it because it's big enough, but there's no pain. There's still a sense of maybe even enjoyment to that opening. Yeah, 2 more deep breaths with that. And with your next inhale, make your way back up to standing and let your arms come back down by your sides for a moment. Let them rest. Maybe there's little wiggles that want to happen. Allow yourself to honor any point that your body kind of gives you, like, okay, we need to shake that out, or I need to kind of twist this way. Honor that. Yeah, and now with your next inhale, we'll reach our arms back up, finding that interlaced grip again. And on the exhale, we'll start to hinge over to the left. And using your breath as a bit of a barometer here, where you can gauge whether you might be at that edge point of just enough sensation, because you can still breathe really deeply, and yet there is some strong experience here. Making your choice for where you want to stay in this pose for 2 more breaths. And then slowly making your way back up to standing. Arms back down by your sides, and pause and breathe. This moment, right here, right now, nothing else. Now start to fold forward once more. And this time we'll find our way into a forward fold, looking for that edge. If you want to use your hands on the backs of your legs to increase sensation, or bend your knees deeply to support your low back, there are truly infinite ways that you could adapt this shape to actually feel good in your body. And the thing is that your body can guide you towards them. So notice what the sensations in your body are guiding you towards right now, and choose to listen. Listen to where your edge is. Choose to engage with your experience, with the sensations in your body. And we'll take 3 more deep breaths here. And now when you are ready to, make your way down onto the ground on your hands and knees. If your knees are sensitive, a small pillow or a blanket underneath your knees can be great. You can even double up your mat if that feels best for you. Placing your hands intentionally under your shoulders, your knees intentionally under your hips. Take a moment right here to feel the texture of the mat beneath your palms, where the tops of your feet are making contact with the ground. And then pressing down, inhale and start to pull your chest forward, letting your belly drop. And as you exhale, you'll drop your head, drop your tailbone, and round your spine like a Halloween cat. Now again, we're going to find this movement going back and forth between these 2 shapes in rhythm with the breath. Letting the pace of the movement follow the breath rather than the other way around. So choosing your rhythm here. And as you flow, you can start to observe if one or the other of these shapes feels more welcome in your body. If there's one of them that your body is just giving a big yes to, notice that. And the next time that you land in that shape, stay there, choosing between those two. Which one do you want to hold for a few more breaths? And be with that choice. If you get into it and you're like, oh, actually, no, it's the other one, make a new choice. Yeah, deep breaths with this exploration, with this experience exactly as it is. And then slowly soften and release. Let your knees walk out a little wider than your hips. Start to melt your chest down towards the ground and walk your arms farther out in front of you. You can choose here to keep your hips lifted, create a more dramatic arch in your spine, or settle your hips down towards your heels. Once again, notice the choice. How you know which way to go, which one to choose. How your body cues you what feels good and what doesn't. And wherever you've landed, let it be. Let yourself be exactly as you are. And now start to make your way over onto your back. And as you make your way there, bend your knees, bring the soles of your feet to the ground, and let your knees knock in towards each other. Now, bring your feet together and let your knees drop open. Notice which of these two shapes your body welcomes more. And choosing to stay in one of them for a few moments here in stillness. Notice if there's a lot of effort, a sense of holding in your body, and see what you might choose to do to adapt in order to soften that holding. Even if it means doing something that I haven't necessarily named. Let your body find a little more ease now. Let your breath find more ease without forcing it to be any particular way. Let that sense of ease come not from a preconception of what a relaxed breath sounds like, but from what actually exists in your body when you don't try to control your breath. Your mind is sure to wander. Without any sense of judgment, invite it back. Your body may be giving you cues that it's time to shift positions, or cues that you could stay here forever. Either way, honor it. Let your hands come onto your body somewhere. Make contact with yourself. And draw your awareness to the part of you that is connected to everything. The embodied part that is wise. You may think of it as your gut, your intuition, your inner knowing. Ask this part of you what really matters in your life right now. And how might you choose to move towards what really matters? Trust whatever answers arise in this moment, knowing that they are coming from this wise embodied space. And then when that feels complete for you, start to make your way back up to sitting. I just want to give a huge thank you to every person who has joined today and in the other sessions. Thank you for being willing to do this work that is not always comfortable, but is so rewarding. Thank you for being with us all here in spirit, in our energetic space, this beautiful platform that we have to connect in new and different ways. And I hope that we can connect again soon. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Alexi, once again for providing these three embodiment sessions for us. I know that I certainly feel like I've gained some knowledge of what my body likes and doesn't like, and feel relaxed every time after doing this with you. So I hope everyone else has gained some similar things, and I just want to express a deep appreciation to you for being part of our community and supporting adult survivors and sharing this incredible knowledge and content with us.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
And again, we want to thank each and every one of you for your presence here today. Our intention in sharing this information with you is to provide ways that you can stand with CSA survivors by engaging in activities to learn and heal about CSA, understand more about your own healing process, and engage in activities that promote the mind, body, spirit connection to help build your own individual resilience and our collective resilience in the world. Together, we are creating a world where survivors of childhood sexual abuse can be seen, heard, honored, and supported. We honor and thank you for joining us for this session and hope that you continue to join us for more sessions as the month goes on. Join us next Tuesday at 5 p.m. for It's About Healing with Jean McAllister and Dustin Diorio to learn about how CSA trauma affects the mind-body-spirit connection, the power of healing in adulthood, and how to engage in post-traumatic growth. And if you haven't already, check out our race resources page on our website for other learning and healing ideas that you can be doing when we're not in these live sessions or when you're not rewatching sessions that have been posted. Email us at wings@wingsfound.org if you have any questions or would like to share anything with us. Thank you again for being here today and for joining the Race for Healing. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.